everybody? Welcome to the Dubs Only podcast, hosted by me, your boy Jesse. And we're just going to touch on a few introduction topics just so that you guys can get to know me as well as why I created the podcast. And we're going to touch on some NBA content towards the end of this episode. But for the debut episode, I just kind of wanted to touch on the introduction of myself as well as the podcast, like I mentioned earlier. And it's going to be on why I made the podcast, the origin of the name, and what I'm looking to get out of it. Why I made the podcast. Well, the reason why I came up with the podcast was because I've always wanted to have my own platform for talking about sports. And you can use Twitter and all that and stuff like that, but I think videos and content like this resonates more with viewers and gets more views rather than one single tweet. But I mean, if you can make that one tweet itself blow up, then yeah. But I'm more of a video and visual person rather than reading and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to do personally. And also, I've always, since I've been here to I moved here to Texas for a reporter job, reporter, sports, all that like stuff like that. That's what I came out here to Texas to do. And I'm in Midland/Odessa, Permian Basin area. And there's not really much to do here. So I thought it would be the perfect opportunity for myself to just create my own, my brand, popularize it as much as I could. But overall, not look at it more as I would say not look at it as a job. I would say I want to look more at this as a hobby and kind of like my business. I would say like my own brand, like I mentioned. And just being able to elevate that as well as elevate my own brand, my own profile, stuff like that, and just so you guys can get to know me. And that's the main reason why I created the podcast, just to create a platform for myself as well as building my own brand, because you never know who's watching, and those people who are watching, you want to give out the best stuff that you can, and that's more of why I made the podcast. What I'm looking to get out of the podcast. Well, I mean, I kind of mentioned it on why I made it. And what I'm looking to get out of it is just a platform for myself as well as guests who I will have in the future, just to have, again, this type of platform so they can speak their opinions on sports. I mean, and in the end, all this is not going to just be on sports. It's going to be on different topics such as probably music, lifestyle, clothing, whatever's going on in the country and the world, stuff like that. We may touch on it depending on what it is. But I just want what I'm looking to get out of it, like I said, is just a platform to be able to speak on certain things and just be able to have a fun environment and also just a hobby because nothing else to do out here. And I'm looking just to give you guys the best product that I can personally, as well as creating my own brand. So that's what I'm looking to get out of it, just to be able to create my brand and be able to give you guys great content and videos that you guys will like and keep coming back to and watching, not just now, not just a week later, but maybe years, months, stuff like that. It's a funny story because this happened, I want to say 2019 or 2018. When a friend of mine, Gabe, he came back from San Diego. And if you guys know, if you're a hooper, if you know hoopers, the summertime when everyone comes back from college or finishes school, the summertime is meant to be playing ball. That's when you get all your friends together and say, hey, we're going to meet up at the park at this time. We're going to be there probably half the day, if not the entire day. And so what happened was, it was during what I called the Burbank takeover. It was in that week. And if you go, so Burbank has 3 gyms. Burbank, California has 3 gyms. I can't remember the top of them, but one is Verdugo, which is on top of a pool. Another one is I just can't remember the names, but there's 3 main gyms over there. And what we did was we took over all 3 gyms during the week, and pretty handily too. It was me, Gabe, our friend Israel, Justin, aka JJ, and I think our other boy JP. So after going, I want to say at least 8 wins in each of those 3 runs, Gabe just came up with the only thing he could when I was taking the Snapchat video, which I will link down below.
Dubs only.
Dubs only. And I don't know, that just always like stuck with me whenever I see Gabe, because Gabe is always like dubs only. And he said it so nonchalantly, which what made it better. And if you guys haven't seen that video already, I'm gonna link it below. Not gonna link it. I'm gonna post it below right now so you guys can watch it.
Dubs only.
Just look at the authenticity on this guy's face. Like he meant what he was saying, trying to say it in a funny way, but it just stuck, you know what I mean? So when I came up with the name of Dubs Only, I just thought of, or the name of the podcast, I just thought of like different type of things. I was like, what sounds cool? What sounds dope? What sounds original? That's why that was my number one thing, coming up with something original. And I was just going, I don't know why, I was just going through my videos on my phone in my library, and that one popped up. And again, like you guys saw right now earlier, it just stuck. Dubs only. So I just said, you know what? Dubs only podcast. And I had to go with the logo with the west side with a dub, because that's where I'm from, the West Coast, aka the best coast, Los Angeles, aka I'm Highland Park's finest. Don't want to toot my own horn too much, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's the name, or the origin of the name. Just Gabe saying Dubs only a couple summers ago while we were hooping. So let's go over some NBA topics. As you guys seen on Saturday night, the Boston Celtics have won 3 straight games after going down 3-0 to the Miami Heat. And last night was just a shot of shots. It wasn't even like a crazy shot. It was just more of a in the moment type shot where it was no way that happened. How did Derek White get so open? If you guys haven't seen the video,
White will inbound. It's off to Smart for the 7th game. Can they be tipped in? But have to protect the offensive rebounding.
Oh, he got rid of it.
He
That's
sure
a
did.
Celtic win, and we're going to Game 7.
The Celtics are going to win. There's a Game 7 back in.
I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better miss, because the way that the ball swirled around the rim, Derek White was able to be in the right position and just tip it back in, do a little easy putback. And nobody expected that to happen. I didn't. I thought the game would be over, and just, I guess the best thing that could have happened in a miss was that it swirled around and it came right towards Derek White. So now we're going back to Boston, Monday night, Memorial Day, Heat versus Celtics, Game 7. The best words in any sporting event, Game 7. You put everything on the line just for one game, and this is to go to the NBA Finals. And these two teams have history dating back to when LeBron was there, when LeBron versus Paul Pierce, Chris Bosh, and Kevin Garnett, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, Rondo, Mario Chalmers. It goes back to 2011, 2012, 2013. It goes back all the way there. And even Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler had their playoff matchups these past few years, dating back to the bubble. So there's a lot of history between these two teams, and especially these two specific cores of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler. I would say Tyler Hero, but he's not playing. But just between those cores, they've met quite a few times in the playoffs. So who do I think is going to win Game 7 to go to the NBA Finals? If I were to bet, I honestly would have to go with, I'm taking the Miami Heat. We've seen the Heat battle-tested. We've seen the Heat be able to come back from deficits like they did this in Game 6 at home. I think I want to say that the Celtics have I don't want to say they peaked already, because I still think there's another level, but I think that just the emotion of going into this Game 7, that especially with what's at stake, and especially a player of Jimmy Butler's caliber who is able to who's able to will his team to a win. And no knock at any of the Celtics. Jason Tatum can do that as well. But I just believe that Jimmy Butler is just I don't want to say he's on another level of Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum is a great player and an all-NBA player. But it's just something about these playoffs is with Jimmy, who just turns it up to another level when you need it most. And Jason Tatum can as well, but I feel more comfortable going with the veteran and Jimmy Butler, who is battle tested. So I am gonna go with the Miami Heat. And fun prediction for final score is gonna be, we're going 115 to 109 Heat. Let's see how that goes. Now, I said I already have the Heat winning, but if I were to say matchup wise, matchup for the Nuggets, I have to go with the Boston Celtics. You have a 7-footer in Robert Williams who can defend. You have perimeter wing defenders in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Also Marcus Smart. You have the firepower from the Nuggets of Jokic, who two-time MVP. You have Jamal Murray, who's playing insanely out of his mind. You have Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, streak shooter, but when he's on, he's on. You have Jeff Green, who is just, if you guys want to talk about longevity, Jeff Green has been doing this for years as well. He's been in the league, I want to say, since Kevin Durant, and he's just one of the best role players that we've had in this game for a very long time. Also, you have not Troy Brown. What's his name? The two Browns, Bruce Brown, and I forgot the other Brown, the one from Kansas. But both those players are also great perimeter guards. Not great. They're really good. They're above average guards. So I just think that roster wise and matchup wise, defensive wise, it'll be more of an X's and O's matchup between the Nuggets and the Celtics rather than the Heat, because the Heat, if you really look at it, the Heat have been playing injured this whole entire playoffs. You have Tyler Hero's gone out had the broken hand. You have Victor Oladipo, who's gone down with his torn PCL, I want to say. You have Kevin Love, who's been hobbled himself throughout the playoffs. Who else? If I'm missing people, then I can't think. I'm blanking. But you have those three players right there, especially your two guards and Victor Oladipo, as well as Tyler Hero. Gabe Vincent's coming off an ankle injury. I mean, he played great, but turn that ankle one more time, who knows how it's gonna be. Whereas you have the Nuggets and the Heat, and the Nuggets and the Celtics, who are relatively healthy. Really think about it. Both of them haven't really felt the injury bug during this playoffs. Both of their rosters are still intact. So I would just say it would between the two East teams to play against the Nuggets in the finals, I'd have to go with the Celtics and the Nuggets as a better matchup, as a matchup situation. Now, there's been a debate these past few years between Jokic and Embiid, and if it hasn't been put to rest already, these playoffs are showing why Nikola Jokic is the best big in our league, without a doubt. I mean, walking triple-double, past Will Chamberlain's for most triple-doubles in a single playoff run. This man has been playing out of his mind. I mean, he destroyed my Lakers. He played well against the Suns. Just being able to do it all, can score, facilitate, can rebound. Not the best defender, but he can stand with the big. Not the greatest defender, but he can make a few stops when needed. And let's just compare him and Embiid, since we are having them as 1A and 1B. I believe that Nikola Jokic, if you were to put Nikola Jokic on the Sixers roster with James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, all those players, then I think he just elevates that team way more than he does with than than Embiid does with the Sixers. Embiid more usually looks to score more, get his points. I mean, he's a dominant force, don't get me wrong. But when you have a player who can dish it as well as get his own points and rebound with the best of them, I mean, that's what puts him over the top for me, is just being able to facilitate and make plays for someone else. Embiid doesn't really look to do that. He looks more just to to score the ball. Both players can shoot free throws. They're one of the best bigs who can shoot free throws, both of them. So that kind of cancels out scoring wise. Embiid's more power, I want to say, whereas Jokic is more finesse. He can tap into that power if he wants. Both are capable free throw shooters. Already said free throws, but 3-point shooters. Both capable rebounders. It's just that facilitating, that playmaking ability that Jokic has in his bag that for me puts him all over the top. Now you could say Embiid has a way better defender, which is true because he does have rim protect with the best of them, if not the best of them. So defensive wise, you got to give the edge to Embiid, but give me the total package on offense. I'll take that than I will with Embiid. So to me, Jokic is the best big in the league, and honestly, this is up for debate. But to me, he's the best player in the NBA. I think he's taking that crown from Giannis. But that's a topic for another day, and we'll get into that. So Jokic to me is the best big, also the best player. And now we have some unfortunate news for one of my favorite players that I saw in the NBA in the last few years. I want to say last probably like 5-6 years. And that would be Lonzo Ball. So there's been reports that Lonzo Ball may be forced to retire due to a nagging knee injury. And if you guys have been watching the NBA and stuff like that, there's nothing new that Lonzo has been somewhat injury prone since he stepped into the NBA. Let's just look how many games Lonzo Ball has missed throughout his career. So his rookie year, let's see. Rookie year played 52 games. His sophomore year played 47. His third year 63. His fourth year 55. And his his very late last season, which was the 21-22 season, he played 35 games. And now Lonzo Ball, how old is Lonzo Ball? I want to say he's my age, which is 26, but how old is Lonzo Ball? Lonzo Ball is 25 years old. He's going to be 26 in October. So to me, it's just one of the greatest. He's not one of the greatest. He's one of the biggest what ifs in the NBA, because coming into the NBA, he was just projected to be this top tier superstar player in the making. And his dad, LeVar Ball, did play a big part into that. I'm not going to deny that, but his game just said it all. The man can score, can shoot. Coming out of UCLA, can play make with the best of them. I'm talking about LeBron James level play make. Defense. When he came into the league, he wasn't known as a defender. By the time he's been into the league these past couple of years, dude has been one of the best perimeter players, top 5 for sure perimeter defensive players in the NBA. Can rebound, one of the best rebounders in his position. I would say he's up there with Russell Westbrook. So this guy just had the whole package. True that his shooting wasn't the best coming into the league, but over the past few years, since he's been after he was dealt to New Orleans in the Anthony Davis trade, his 3-point shooting has gone up after he switched his form from the side to straight. And you got to commend him for that. I mean, being able, the work ethic right there alone just shows how much he loves the game of basketball. Being able to just change your entire form. I mean, being used to shooting the ball, I want to say that over 20 years the same way repeatedly, to drastically changing it to moving it straight in a matter of a summer. that just shows the amount of work ethic and just to get that muscle memory and able to shoot. And we saw the results of that because he was able to shoot. Let's look at the percentage. In his last 2 seasons in the NBA, he shot, since he got in New Orleans, 37.5% from three, 37.8 in his second year in New Orleans, and then his last season, which was Chicago in 21-22, he was able to shoot 42.3. I mean, you see the work ethic, you see how it is, and he attempted 7 in his last season with Chicago, around 7.4 attempts, making 3.1 out of them. So the work ethic for the consistency was there. And I just think it's a real bummer that we're not going to be able to see, if we're not able to see Lonzo Ball anymore, just because he is one of those players that does have the entire package. I mean, the athleticism is there, the speed, though he's not a big trash talker. Yes, he's not a big talker just in general, but he lets his game talk, which I think is the best thing any player can do to try to make a name for themselves. But a lot of people nowadays just look at, I'm going to make a name for myself by just being the loudest guy. But sometimes the quietest guy is the loudest person in the room, because when you don't have to say anything and you're able to show what you're about, I think that should be valued more than someone who has to talk and then back it up. That's just my opinion. So Lonzo Ball to me was just one of my favorite players. I mean, I had the 2 Lonzo jerseys, the first year and his rookie year and his second year. And when they dealt him, it just tore me apart. But I honestly do hope that Lonzo Ball does find a way to come back to the NBA, because he's one of the funnest players to watch and one of the best players in the open court, because that's where you see his brilliance. So Lonzo, hopefully you come back, man, because the NBA will sure loves to see you. I love to see you. I think every fan loves to see you. And we just hope for a speedy recovery, and we just hope that you're able to come back to basketball, man. And that's going to wrap up episode 1 of the Dubs Only podcast. Thank you guys for watching. All the social media links are going to be down below. Follow the YouTube page. Follow, subscribe, share, like it, send it to your friends, send it to your mom, your pops, your cousins, your friends. Even if you want to like just say, hey, this guy is whack, send it. It doesn't really bother me. As long as you guys are watching, it gives me more motivation to keep going. So I appreciate all you guys for watching, and this is just the beginning of something special.
I put the hood up on my back, don't need no chiropractor. Catch me in the city, riding low inside a Cadillac. Snakes up in the grass now. Look, I'm talking Diamondback. Learn the facts about my life up in these songs like